So apparently Meghan Markle is keeping her distance from Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, even though Harry's been tight with his cousins forever. Like, we're talking about Harry and Meghan being on completely different pages about the York sisters. There's Prince Andrew's scandals in the mix, the whole Jeffrey Epstein connection that Americans are not playing about, and Meghan's basically like, I'm staying far away from that situation, while Harry's over here still wanting to support his family. The tea is scalding, y'all. Before we expose all the drama, smash that like button and subscribe, because we're about to reveal why Meghan's protecting her brand at all costs, why Harry's caught in the middle, and how this whole situation is tearing the family even further apart. Drop a comment and let me know whose side you're on. All right, buckle up because this gets wild. To understand this whole situation, we gotta talk about what's been happening with Prince Andrew, because that's the root of everything. As we covered in a previous video, Prince Andrew recently gave up all his royal titles, including Duke of York, after years of scandal involving his connection to convicted individual Jeffrey Epstein. The scrutiny around Andrew has been intense, especially after various allegations and his disastrous BBC interview back in 2019. Now, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie are Andrew's daughters. They still retain their royal titles and princess status, even though their father had to give up his. King Charles reportedly has high affection for his nieces and has tried to protect them from their father's fate. But here's the problem: no matter how much Beatrice and Eugenie try to distance themselves from their father's controversies, they can't completely escape the association. They're still Andrew's daughters, they still have the York title, Beatrice is Princess Beatrice of York, Eugenie is Princess Eugenie of York, and whenever Andrew is mentioned in the media, his daughters inevitably get brought into the conversation. Royal expert Christopher Wilson told the Daily Mail that the princess's status has been tarnished as a result of their parents' scandals, and it could even affect them financially. He said, the princesses use their titles to earn money, and if that starts to dry up as a result of their father's disgrace, they may be tempted to follow their mother Fergie's example of accepting more and more low-grade offers to use their face and name in order to rake in the cash. So we're talking about serious reputational damage here that affects not just Andrew, but his whole family. Now, let's talk about Prince Harry's relationship with Beatrice and Eugenie, because this is important context. According to royal expert Duncan Larcombe, who spoke to The Mirror, Harry has always been close with his cousins. He said, Harry has always been close to Beatrice and Eugenie. They didn't see a massive amount of each other growing up because they didn't live very close to each other, but they'd always get together for Christmas at Sandringham. Harry and his cousins bonded over the years, and they've had what's described as a massive soft spot for each other. They understand what it's like growing up in the royal family, dealing with the pressure, living in the public eye. In fact, Princess Eugenie was reportedly the first member of the royal family that Harry introduced Meghan to when they started dating. That shows you how close they were. He trusted Eugenie enough to bring his new girlfriend around her before anyone else in the family. When Harry and Meghan left the UK and stepped back from royal duties, there were reports that Eugenie and her husband Jack Brooksbank even visited them in California. Eugenie and Jack also stayed at Frogmore Cottage after Harry and Meghan were evicted from the property. So, historically, there's been a real friendship and family bond there. Harry has a lot of sympathy for his cousins, especially now that they're dealing with the fallout from their father's scandals, even though they had nothing to do with Andrew's choices. Larcombe said Harry is likely concerned about Beatrice and Eugenie given everything they're going through. But here's where things get complicated. Meghan Markle apparently sees the situation very differently than Harry does. According to Duncan Larcombe, with Meghan, there's a divide there, he explained. The Jeffrey Epstein situation is hugely sensitive, especially in America. And of course, Epstein, disgraced producer Harvey Weinstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell were photographed together at Beatrice's 18th birthday. That detail right there is key. There are literally photographs from Beatrice's 18th birthday party that showed Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell together. Even though Beatrice had nothing to do with inviting them or their criminal activities, that association exists in photographic evidence, and it's been circulated widely, especially in American media. Larcombe said, Meghan will be very aware of the sensitivities as she's very media conscious. She won't want to be seen to be too sympathetic towards them, so she will keep her distance. So Meghan's concern is about optics and public perception, especially in America, where the Epstein case has been absolutely massive news. Americans are very aware of the Epstein scandal, the allegations, the victims, all of it. And for Meghan, who's trying to build her brand in America with her lifestyle company and various business ventures, being associated with anyone connected to that scandal, even indirectly, could be damaging. The source explained that Meghan is very media conscious and understands how things will be perceived by the public. She doesn't want photos or stories of her being friendly with Beatrice to be used against her or to hurt her reputation. Larkham added, "I don't think she could object to Harry privately supporting them, but they will be on very different pages." So basically, Meghan's not going to tell Harry he can't support his cousins privately, but she wants to make sure publicly there's distance. No joint appearances, no photos together, no social media interactions that could be interpreted as the Sussexes aligning themselves with the York family. Here's another layer to this. It's not just about moral concerns or optics. There's also a commercial aspect to Meghan's position. Larkham pointed out, neither Harry nor Meghan will want to be seen to be associated with Andrew or Sarah Ferguson. From Meghan's point of view, it's probably a commercial thing. From Harry's point of view, it's probably more of an emotional thing. What does commercial mean in this context? Well, Meghan has business ventures. She has her lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard. She's had deals with Netflix and Spotify. She's trying to build her empire in America. If she's publicly associated with people who are connected to the Epstein scandal, even if it's just Andrew's daughters who had nothing to do with it, that could affect her business relationships. Companies might not want to work with her. Brands might distance themselves. Investors might get nervous. We saw something similar happen when various celebrities and business people had to distance themselves from anyone associated with Epstein after the scandal broke. People were dropping connections left and right because the association alone was toxic. For Meghan, who's positioning herself as an empowered woman, a mother, someone who advocates for important causes, being linked to anything Epstein-related, even tangentially through Harry's cousins, could undermine everything she's trying to build. For Harry, it's more emotional. These are his cousins. He cares about them. He probably feels bad that they're suffering consequences for their father's actions. But for Meghan, the calculation includes business considerations and brand protection. A Los Angeles strategist commented on the Sussexes' overall situation, saying, "A title isn't sentimental. It's leverage in every negotiation." That mindset applies here too. Associations matter, connections matter, and Meghan is being strategic about managing hers. So where do things actually stand between the Sussexes and the York sisters right now? Well, according to multiple sources, the relationships have cooled significantly. A source told Express, "They haven't communicated with the Sussexes for quite a while now. They are nowhere near as close as they once were." Another source added, "Eugenie and Jack are very careful about what they say to friends because they don't want to be seen as bad-mouthing Harry or Meghan. There's still a friendship there, but it's not like the close family bond they had before Harry moved to America. So there's no open hostility or bad blood, but they're just not close anymore. They don't really talk. They don't visit each other. The friendship has faded." Part of this is because Beatrice and Eugenie have reportedly pledged their allegiance to the royal family. With King Charles and Kate Middleton both dealing with cancer diagnoses in 2024, the York sisters have stepped up to take on more royal duties and support the family. They've grown closer to Prince William and King Charles. A source explained, "They're very fond of their cousin William and their uncle Charles, and they want to do everything they can to support them. And they believe in the institution they grew up in. So the York sisters are team royal family, while Harry and Meghan are not. That creates a natural divide. There have also been some awkward moments. Remember when Harry and Meghan announced Meghan's pregnancy on the same day as Princess Eugenie's wedding in 2018? That was seen as stealing Eugenie's thunder on her big day, which is a major faux pas. That definitely created some tension. And when Princess Eugenie was in Los Angeles in February 2024, she reportedly didn't reach out to Harry. She also skipped attending the Invictus Games earlier that year, even though she used to support Harry at those events. All signs point to distance, whether intentional or just natural given the circumstances. So what does all this mean for the future? Well, it seems like the divide is only going to grow. Meghan will continue to keep her distance from Beatrice and Eugenie publicly to protect her brand and avoid any association with the Andrew Epstein scandal. She might not actively prevent Harry from having a private relationship with his cousins, but she's not going to be posting photos with them or appearing at events together. Harry will likely continue to have some sympathy and possibly private contact with Beatrice and Eugenie, but he's also not going to go against Meghan's concerns or push for public reconciliation. Meanwhile, Beatrice and Eugenie are solidifying their position within the royal family proper. They're supporting Charles and William, taking on more duties, and distancing themselves from the Sussex drama. The one thing everyone seems to agree on: neither the Sussexes nor the York sisters want anything to do with Prince Andrew or Sarah Ferguson publicly. That's the one point of unity. Royal expert Phil Dampier wrote, "The King and William have always been fond of Bea and Eugenie and their husbands and regard them as innocent victims. So Charles and William are protecting the sisters and keeping them in the fold. The big question is whether the relationships between the cousins can ever be repaired, or if the combination of royal family drama, Andrew's scandals, and Meghan's commercial concerns have permanently fractured what used to be close family bonds." All right, y'all, so that's the tea on why Meghan Markle will reportedly keep her distance from Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, even though Harry has always been close with his cousins. It's a complicated situation involving Andrew's scandals, the Epstein connections, commercial concerns, and different perspectives on how to handle family drama when you're living in the public eye. What do you think? Is Meghan right to distance herself to protect her brand? Should Harry be able to maintain relationships with his cousins without it being a problem? And do you think Beatrice and Eugenie are innocent victims in all this, or should they have done more to distance themselves from their father earlier? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because royal family drama never stops. Until next time.